So thank you for joining us again for our webinar series. Today we are going to talk about crafting, get this out of there, the perfect Instagram feed. So first and foremost, just wanted to, sorry, I'm looking at a line. Just wanted to discuss what we're going to go over today. There is so much that we can cover in how to craft a perfect Instagram feed, but just wanted to touch on the basics and the most important pieces, which is obviously why it's important to have a great Instagram feed and social media presence, branding and theme, and why that is also important. Obviously the content, hashtags, and having a business profile, and then planning your posts, which will make your life a lot easier. So let's jump right into it. Social media is very important. One of the best reasons, or the main reasons why I love social media, is because it is free. It is free advertising. Think of it as your portfolio and advertising all in one. So people are more likely, we know, to look you up on social media. Especially, here's some statistics, the millennials and the Gen X's. So according to the National Association of Realtors, social media was the top tool cited as lead generation. It was actually 47%, followed by the multiple listing service, which was followed at 32%. And in case you're wondering how people found their homes, it was online. So 81% of older millennials, 80% of younger millennials, and 78% of Generation X found their home online. So they are online looking. And if you think that they're just looking for homes online and not looking on their social platforms, then you're missing a huge, huge audience. So not only is it a great lead gen source, but it's a gold mine for referrals. So having all of your past clients on there, because you can also retain those customers, right? And then get referrals from them for anyone looking to buy. And then my favorite, obviously, is that you don't have to compete with Zillow and Realtor, the people that are trying to take our jobs. So who can you find on social media? Obviously, local homeowners looking to buy and sell on each side. So, or well, not homeowners, but clients looking to buy and sell on each side. Former clients, which could be your referral source. Realtors who are looking for some sort of referral in your area, and then those people that might be looking for vacation homes, second homes, investments in your area as well. So there are a whole lot of people that you can attract on just Instagram as a lead gen source. And we'll go over obviously how you can do that in later slides, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. So you can get a lot of people seeing you on social media. Okay, so this is in no particular order of importance. Obviously, like the content, the branding, the theme, everything like that, just going through what I think is important and what we have found is important to make you successful on Instagram. So branding and theme, it is so important to not only have a social media presence and an Instagram presence, but to also have a clear branding. Similar to your branding for your website, if you have business cards, which you should have, headers, footers, everything like that, you should have one clear brand on your Instagram. More important on Instagram than Facebook because of the way that you can see the posts and how people see your page. But you can accomplish this branding through a theme. And how can you create a theme? So you can do a particular filter. You can stick to a color palette. That's what I do. I, as you have probably noticed from the past two webinars, love pink. So I mean, people know me as loving pink. My laptop case is pink. My phone case is pink. I send out birthday cards with pink confetti. So that's something that I stay branded across my whole entire me as a person. But also you can brand yourself by just doing like a particular type of content, but just to make it so that you're authentic to who your target audience is and what your name represents. You want to stay who you are, and you can do so very easily by just changing a few things. Your photo and your bio and your name. This also goes into your branding. So your name should be something that is recognizable, short and sweet. If you're talking to somebody and you want to have, or you want them to look you up, it needs to be something that they can remember. So try to think of something with realtor in it, real estate, homes, cells. You can do anything that can link you to being a realtor. And then also is easy to find, because that's how people are going to find you, through keywords in your name and then also in your bio. And your bio should also be short and sweet. It should be something that shows that you're knowledgeable and professional about the market, but also attracts, like it needs to allow people to see what you do and then want to follow you. I should always include a link to either your website or a contact form. Some people do the link tree where you can add multiple links in your bio, but you should have some sort of, I prefer like a contact form, like lead gen, so that you can get people's contact information if they're trying to go to your website. And then photo. For people that don't know who you are or what you look like, this is just as important. It should be of just your face, not a group shot. And it should be just as professional as your headshot, if not your headshot, because that's how you want people to recognize you, because we know that our face is our brand and that's how people recognize us. And then be personal. Connect with your target audience. Put in your bio if you are not just a realtor and you're a foodie, or you go to the gym and people know you're around town as the person who teaches workout classes. Doesn't necessarily need to be just about real estate, because you have a target audience that you're trying to reach, and that's just as important. Here are a few Instagrams. This just gives you an example of what I mean when I say theme. So look professional. You can grow your followers and gain leads, because when people go onto your Instagram, if they're searching a hashtag, you want what they see to be compelling enough to follow you. And remember, you are your brand. Your face is your brand. So one thing that all of these have in common is that it's not just real estate related or quotes. They have their picture in there. They are being authentic. The one over here, Nicole, she has a particular style where she puts a quote in or a testimonial every so often. And all of them are, very different, but also show their personalities too. Like you can kind of get a sense of what they're like just by looking at their Instagrams. And obviously I put mine in there just to show you, again, pink represents me and that's my brand. And so remember, you're your brand. You have to show your face. You show it to all of your clients when you meet them. So don't be afraid to post a picture of yourself in your feed. Okay, the right content. As equally as important, you need to be relevant to your target audience. So you need to appeal to everybody. So if you are a realtor and you are looking, or you do a lot of referrals as your business, or what most people should be looking to do is increasing their referrals, you need to appeal to more than just potential buyers and sellers. You want to appeal to all of the people that had just bought a home with you or sold a home with you. And you can do this by adding in content that is not just how to sell your home, in these 3 steps, or giving them information about the buyer's market right now. You can put in information that is relevant to people that follow you that aren't necessarily in the market. I always recommend everyone to come up with a list of 5 categories that you think your audience would like to see posts about. So if you sell a lot of condos or high rises, this is important. You can do like lifestyle posts, downtown restaurants and fun things to do. You're probably going to hit on amenities, things like that. Whereas someone who might sell mainly vacation homes is going to probably post about family-friendly events and things to do around town. Same with single-family homes. Going to be very different, and you're probably going to post more about neighborhoods and what you're not going to post about amenities as much, because unless the neighborhood has a pool and a clubhouse, which in that case you would, you probably won't post much about it. So appeal to your target audience. And again, be personal with that. So if you are a foodie and you go and try restaurants, one of my colleagues is great at this. He not only is a foodie, but he also loves he does farmhouse Fridays. He always goes and looks at different farmhouses or highlights them. I mean, he's got multiple buyers who have reached out to him because of his farmhouses. If you like vintage homes, or you go to the gym a lot, or you're a gym teacher, like I said, put that in there as well. Be authentic. People want to see you. They want to obviously know that you're professional and you're knowledgeable, but you also want to show them that you are a person. Use high quality images. That's important for your content. Use high quality content. Make sure that you know where you're getting your content from for copywriting issues. Post your just listeds and your just solds. Very important, because not only do you want to come off as knowledgeable, but you want to show people that you're selling, that you're doing what you say you do. And you would be surprised at how many people will come up to you and say, oh my gosh, like, you look like you're so busy this year. So you've sold so many houses. Because although everyone might know a realtor, it might be their uncle or their friend or their boyfriend's mom, they don't know the business that they do. They have no idea how many homes they sell. And when they see you constantly selling a home, you're going to be the one that comes top of mind when someone might reach out to them. So that's really what we're trying to achieve here, is staying top of mind. And then post for engagement, which is what brings me into the next post, the Facebook or Instagram algorithm. So the algorithm has 6 different parts. 3 of them are the most important to people who are looking to gain followers, which is interest, relationships, and timeliness. So when you post, how often you post, and how you're interacting. You have to engage. So in order to grow your followers, you need to post consistently. That's like not even a question. At least 3 to 4 times a week. If you're going and doing an hour every week to just post 1 or 2 posts, you're missing the boat, because you're going to consistently go back down to the bottom of the algorithm, and the people that you want to attract won't see you because you're not engaging with them. You need to comment on all of your comments. If you go into the filters, or not the filters, the hashtags, and look up what other people are posting and liking their posts, you're going to come up on other people's posts that are in the search bar as well, in that hashtag search. Another thing with the algorithm is to always keep up on your comments and your direct messages. This is very important. Like Instagram sees this. They know when you're interacting. It's not just going and interacting with other people. You need to interact on your post. So if you're just posting but not going back and liking or replying to the comments, again, you're missing people there. Many people don't know this, but remix the posts that you found work the best, that get the most engagement. Because if they work and you add a different, picture to it, or switch up the copy a little bit and reuse it, people don't know. I mean, we know that most of the time you're coming up like 30% on everyone's posts or on everyone's feed. So you need to that's another reason why you have to post consistently, because you're not showing up 100% of the time on everyone's feed, especially if they follow like 4,000 people, right? Like they're going to show up on the feeds where they interact with the most, or that person interacts with them. And that's why those, what we call fluff posts, are so important. So getting engagement is crucial, obviously, because of this algorithm. So having those posts that you might see where it's right now, do you put your Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving? Or do you, what's another one? Are you thinking of selling in the spring? If so, comment below why. Those fluff posts, or the local, like getting into like tagging your local favorite like business or bakery, which is one we just had, are important because the people that comment on those are more likely to see your posts moving forward. That goes the same for Facebook too. Those posts where you get 14, 15 comments are the people that are now going to automatically start seeing you again, that may not have, and they're friends too. So that's why those engagement posts or the fluff posts are so important to also have periodically. Stories, also important. People are probably going to see your stories first. So having some sort of engagement sticker. I love the polls. And for funny things too, if you're walking through a house and you see something, wacky and saying, would you like this? Yes or no? People love that. They go crazy. It doesn't need to be anything like that you've thought of or a special story or anything like that. It can be as simple as, or the Christmas tree thing. If you do it now, or do you wait until the last week? So having those stories a couple of times a week also help with your engagement and who you see. And then use the Instagram analytics to decide what you're going to post, which after we go into this section, you'll realize what that does. So hashtags and business profiles. Very important. You must have your profile as a business profile. And that just means that you need to go in and change it to a business profile in the app. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have a profile that's solely for your business, because that's the great debate, right? If you are going to have an Instagram that's just for your business and then one that's just personal, sometimes, everyone's very torn on that, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but that's not necessarily what I mean when I say having a business profile. So go into your app, make sure that you have it set to business, because you get this thing called Instagram Insights. It is a data tracking and analyzing tool. So all my type A's out there that love to look at the analytics, this is an awesome tool. Basically, it just gives you a ton of data to see who is visiting you, the number of clicks on your website, your demographics, who you're appealing to the most, when people are visiting you and liking your post, so that you can tailor it to your post to, or plan your post to post at a particular time so that it reaches the maximum number of people. So you can use it again to discover the best days and times to post. You can determine which posts are performing the best. This is my favorite part of it, because then you can really hone in on which posts you should be posting. If you have those engagement posts, the fluff posts, and they're not getting a ton of engagement, maybe do less of those. Not saying cut them out altogether, but maybe do less of them. So looking into the statistics of the insights on your business profile is so important. And then again, what I have the great debate. I don't believe, and this is again preference, that you have to be a completely business profile. It depends on how open you are and how much you want to share, and also how much work you want to do. Regardless of if you have it as strictly business or as just personal, you definitely want to still post your personal posts. Put your face out there. You're your brand. Those are the posts that get the most engagement too. As you can see here, I did one for mine. And this was, I even scrolled down a few. And you can see some of my top posts are obviously pictures, personal pictures. So people love the personal pictures more so than the other ones that have information about buying and selling. You can also see in the algorithm and the insights who my demographic is, when the best time to post is. And then you can also see it's been a little bit slow this week. I didn't get to post too many. So my interactions for my stories were down 41%, but you can see if you've dropped the ball or if you've slipped a little bit when people are looking. This next week for all of the Americans out there is great, because it is Thanksgiving week. People are home. They're going to be on their phones, or they're not home, and then they're going to be on their phones a little bit more because they are connecting with everybody on Zoom. So try and get people when they are out or sitting on their couch, and those are usually late afternoon or early morning when people are scrolling and looking at everything before work or during work, depending on what they do. Hashtags. So this is really the tool that's going to get you the customers. We really look at it as like the new SEO for your profile. Hashtags are a very powerful way to connect with people who are searching for content. And believe it or not, realtors who use hashtags effectively see 12% more engagement than those who skip them. And that was done by a National Association of Realtors as well. Don't have too many, 10 to 15 max. These are some good ones that you can really post about, which is we obviously have the real estate related ones, but the ones that are really going to get you the business are the ones where you have the local hashtags. Hashtag your town real estate, hashtag just your town, just your county, just your state. Try to get as not particular, can't think of the word, hone in on that particular area as much as possible, because those are the people that are going to be looking through the hashtags and seeing your posts. And if you also do more than just real estate and you do go to the gym or you're foodie, tag those places too in your post, and then also put the hashtag in there. People are going to follow you because a lot of people not only search through hashtags, they actually follow hashtags. They follow them for their town. They follow them for just their town and the real estate because they want to know what's going on in the market. And although they might be your buyer or your seller, they may refer you. And then below you can kind of see a few apps to help with hashtags. So you can actually look up hashtags, like if you are looking at a farmhouse or a Victorian, you can put in a particular hashtag into these apps and it'll generate the most used, most valuable hashtags after that would come up after that one. And then apps to help with captions. Love Caption Plus because everyone always wonders how you can get the line breaks in your posts. That is how. You can obviously do so when you plan them online as well. You can get those line breaks. But if you're posting it manually, having that Captions Plus app, all of these are free, is going to be your best bet. And obviously, this is a lot to think about. But another important piece and one that can kind of take that weight off your shoulders is to plan your posts. Planning your post is important because then you can set it and forget it. And you don't have to worry about skipping 5 days or not interacting with people because once you post it and you get the notifications, it's super easy to go in and interact with people. The best thing to do is to preview your feed if you're thinking of doing oh my gosh, if you're thinking about doing a theme, which you should. So on the left here, you can see that we've previewed some of our Instagram posts and you can see which ones are posted, how many likes they have, what we want to post, so that's when you see people with those blocks in certain sections, that's how they do it. They plan it out and make it so that they know which post is going to be coming next. With our system, a lot of people will go in the beginning of the month, download every image, download all the captions, go into this calendar, post them out, and then it's done. We also recommend planning for contests and giveaways. Those are ways that you can really have interaction with people and gain new followers by having them tag their friends. And it doesn't need to be anything big, a gift card, something local. People love that, especially around the holidays, because they can likely use it to give to somebody else. And don't forget to tag and shout out to your local businesses. If you are shouting them out and giving them recognition, they're likely going to repost it or tag you in their feed. Stories is a really great way to do this because you know it's going to be almost automatic. And then people can tap on their story and go and see you. A few apps that we really like are Later, Hootsuite, Planoly, Loomly. I put Hootsuite in there twice. But So Hootsuite is one that you can post Facebook and Instagram. The other ones are mainly Instagram. You can also go in, and once it posts on Instagram, every morning just go into Instagram and hit that share button to Facebook, so you're not doing everything twice. And a lot of these apps have a free version too, so you don't need to pay a lot to get everything posted. Another one that's good that you can preview on. So if you wanted to preview everything, put it out for the month, see what it looks like, and then put it into your later schedule or your Loomly schedule, is the app called Preview. So you can, like I said, go in and actually see everything before you actually post it. So just to recap, being consistent on social media is super important. Being professional and branded is also important. We recommend at least 3 to 4 posts a week. Be very relevant and be personal. And then obviously engage. You have to spend 10 minutes on the couch every night going through your comments, your likes, going in and looking at the hashtags that you use to see if there's anything else, especially the town ones, so that you can actually get those people that are, and a lot of the people that use those town ones are businesses, and you never know who they need or who they meet that might need a realtor. So that's also very important. And obviously, if you don't know what to post, we can help. We know that creating an image can be fairly easy for people, but the captions are what makes it really difficult, and getting that engagement and creating that following of people. So we have our own Blink marketing agency for those that are not on our site. So let me stop sharing, and then I want to answer any questions that people may have, because I know I went over a ton of information, especially with Instagram and social media. There's so much to learn and that you can use, that it's almost hard to cram it into a half hour or even an hour webinar. So we're going to obviously go through each of the parts in a little bit more detail over the webinars that we do monthly, starting in 2021. And Andy, through Command, the planning, is that what you're talking about? That is a great question. I don't believe they have an option for doing that just yet. I know that you can create the post, but and you can do the, oh my gosh, the ads, but I don't think you can schedule it just yet. But yeah, Planoly and Loomly, I know Planoly, you can do a free version. So that's a good one to go into and look at. Hootsuite is a little bit more expensive because you can add more profiles, but I know Planoly is, they have a free version. So, and yes, for level 2 customers, we actually do all of the setting up and scheduling for Facebook and Instagram. So you don't have to worry about that at all. That is all done for you. Level 1 is more of a do-it-yourself, and you just go in and you post. I know a lot of people will put in, and even with level 2, by us doing that, that doesn't mean to not go in and supplement some posts, right? Like if you have a listing that you just sold, put that in. If you're out apple picking with friends and family, put that picture in, so you can show that you're authentic and this is you. This is what you do when you're not working 7 days a week. So supplementing and putting in a few posts here and there. It doesn't matter if you post twice in one day. It's better to post more than less. Yes, it is Planoly. And you can do it on, like a lot of times, you're welcome. A lot of times people will do this on their phone. I find it easier to plan everything via the app on the desktop, just to be very transparent, especially if you're doing it at the beginning of the month. Any other questions? And of course, if you think of something afterwards, you know where to find us. You can always email us at info@blinkmarketingagency.com, or go onto our website and start a chat, and we will be in touch. Well, thank you all for joining us, and we hope to see you next week. No, not next week, the week after. We'll have another webinar for you, and we'll be sending out some more information on that later if you haven't signed up already. Have a wonderful remainder of the week. Happy Thanksgiving.